Welcome to Jazz 101 Part 3, Across the Floor. Getting right into it, we're going to start with what's called a pas de bourrée. A pas de bourrée in jazz is a three-step sequence that gets you traveling forward. So the sequence of steps is a back, side, front. So you're going to start with one leg out, you're going to step back, step out, and then take a step forward. Back, out, step forward. That step forward is how you travel across the floor. Our arms for this step are just going to stay out in a second position, but a jazz second position. So instead of curving, it's just going to be straight out. The whole thing is going to look a little bit like this. Now we're going to take it across the floor. Other side. The next thing we're going to be learning is a chassé, which is also a traveling three-step movement. This movement is fairly simple. It's forward, together, forward. But there's a bit of a skip movement in the middle, so it's down, skip, down. While it can be used as a move on its own, most of the time it's in preparation for another step, which we'll go into after we take it across the floor. Our arms for chassé are going to switch back and forth. If your right leg is in front, your left arm will be in front and your right arm will be out to the side like this. So it'll be right foot, switch for left foot. And all together, this is how it looks. And across the floor. Other side. So usually a chassé leads into a leap. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, preparation step, and then into a leap. The point of the chassé and the extra step being momentum. Just as we covered before in ballet, a leap is meant to be a picture of a full split in the middle of the air. So as far into a split as you can get without hurting yourself is the picture you want to be able to hold. So the arms are going to be the same for the first part, 1, 2, 3, but then when you go to step, they're going to come down into a circle. And when you go to leap, the opposite arm of the leg is going to go up in the air, and then the same arm is going to go back to the outside position as you take your leap. Here's how it looks. And now across the floor. Other side. If, like me, you don't have a whole lot of room to work with, a good idea is to go back and forth a few times to get a good number of leaps in. Now we're going to be doing a minor combination, which is pas de bourrée, fan kick. Now a fan kick is where your leg points to one side, lifts up, and makes a half circle motion before coming back down to the ground. So we're going to do our pas de bourrée, 1, 2, 3, and the leg that is free is the one that will fan kick outwards and step. Then we'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, and that same leg should come up to fan kick. While there are technically a couple of things you can do with your arm during this, the best thing to do when learning is keeping your arms to the side even when doing your kick, which looks like this. And take it across the floor. Other side. So the next thing we're going to be doing is called a pas de bourrée turn. It is the same motion as a typical pas de bourrée, but it's going to turn your body around as you do it. So in a pas de bourrée turn, the first 2 steps are the ones that actually get your body to turn around, while the third one kind of stops the momentum so you can then switch directions. So you're going to start by stepping behind yourself, start turning around. Once you're about halfway turned, you're going to finish the rest of the way by stepping the other foot, and then you're going to step out on the last one, leaving the other foot free to change directions. Now the arms for this are going to be a back and forth motion. So you're going to start with your arms open, and then as you go to turn, your arms are going to close. So for the first 2 steps, closed, closed, open, switch directions, closed, closed, open, looking like this. Let's try across the floor. Other side. For those of you who are going to be wearing socks or tights in order to do the turn part properly, this would be the time to pause and put them on. So we're going to start, just like in ballet, with chaîné turns. A chaîné turn is where you turn on two legs on releve where your knees are straight and you're walking kind of like you're on stilts. As I've said before, what keeps you turning is the rotation of the foot that you're standing on during that half of the turn, the push off from the other foot, and your arms closing and opening, creating more momentum. Meaning, of course, that your arms will go from open to closed. The whole motion looking like this. Across the floor. Other side. There are two forms of chaîné turns. The one that I just showed you, which is the one that's used most often, and then a preparation turn, which means you're down on your flat feet with bent knees. So you're stepping out and turning this way. Usually this is in preparation for a turn or a jump of some kind, but it can also be used as preparation for going back up into releve, which is what we're going to be doing now. So our combination is going to be 2 chaîné turns on releve, followed by 1 in plie. The arms are going to be the same, so it's going to look like this. Let's try it. Other side. Wonderful. Now we're going to be learning jazz turns. The main difference between a jazz turn and a ballet turn is whether or not your feet are turned out. So in a ballet turn, your preparation is a turned out position, whereas in jazz, it's forward, making your back foot more like a kickstand than an actual balance. Also, unlike ballet, when you go up into releve, your back leg is going to go straight up instead of turned out and will be in this position when you're turning. So we're going to start with just stepping into the turns. So you're going to take a step forward and then turn towards the leg that you pick up. And then when you step down with that leg, you're going to turn the opposite direction. The arms are also fairly simple. You're going to go from here to here, from here to here. Whichever leg you're standing on when you're turning, that's the arm that goes forward, and the other arm goes out to the side. It looks like this. Let's try. Other way. Alright, so let's move on to the last thing. We're going to be doing a pas de bourrée into a jazz turn. So you're going to start with a typical 1, 2, 3, but this then becomes your preparation. So you put your weight on the front foot instead of the back foot. From here, the back leg comes up and you do your turn, and then you land here and repeat the process. 1, 2, 3, the same foot should be the one to come up. So your arms are going to stay out to the side for 1, 2, and then on the third step, this arm comes forward when you're prepping to turn. When you go up into the turn, your arms close and then open back into this position, and then you're going to restart. Like this. Let's try. Other side. Awesome job, guys. That's going to be the end of my Dance 101 series, so I hope you enjoyed it. And if at any point you want to keep practicing, you can always replay it and follow along. Have fun dancing, and maybe I'll see you next time.